Welcome, everyone, to day number 2 of UMG Sudbury. Of course, myself, Lando, in studio. I've got Paradox joining me here for Championship Sunday. Paradox, we have a fantastic match starting things off. We've got winners finals taking place between ERG, a.k.a. Earthroot Gaming, and the side of eRa Eternity.
This is one that I'm really excited for. These are two teams that really sort of hyped us up yesterday and have worked their way all the way here to the winners final. I mean, if you look at the side of Earthroot, they won their semifinal match. It's a team that was a 3-1, and they were able to take out Pink Rockstar in round 2 of that winners bracket with a 3-0. On the other side, things have been sort of not the route that I expect to see from eRa Eternity. Of course, Cryptic Void gave them a little bit of a test there, took an S&D when we started to stream out yesterday, and then they got a 3-0 over Persistent. So it looks like this sort of turned into the force that we really expected to see coming into this tournament. But hey, there are a bunch of players I'm looking out for here. We're starting things out with a Scorch Hardpoint. This one's going to start fast, furious, and I can't wait.
I can't either, man. Of course, like I said, both of these teams kind of having easier passageways. I think eRa Eternity kind of having the more easier road when it comes into this series. But of course, let's take a look at the series overview as we get ready to head into map number 1. Of course, Paradox, you discussed Hardpoint Scorch for map number 1. Like I said, we're getting into things fast. Expect a lot of fast-paced gameplay when it comes down to this particular one. We've got eRads, and of course, we have that fast-paced gameplay that, of course, Infinite Warfare loves to provide. Map number 2 going to be Crusher, Search, and Destroy. Map number 3 was, I believe, Throwback, Uplink. And map number 4 has escaped me from the screen, but it's all right, of course. But no worries. There it is. Hardpoint Retaliation. And, of course, it goes down to map number 5, Breakout, Search, and Destroy there. So should obviously be an interesting map set. But, of course, we do talk about map number 1. It is going to be Scorch Hardpoint. Talk to me a little bit about this map, Paradox. In your opinion, what should we expect when it comes down to this one? I know we talked about fast-paced gameplay, but of course we did talk about eRads. I know there is one particular hill that we, of course, do discuss, but there's also another one back in Hangar. Kind of break down this map a little bit for the viewers at home who are new.
Yeah, so I'm going to go in terms of importance. Right now I want to focus on hills 2 and 3. Those are going to be sort of your swing maps back-to-back. You have 2 money hills pretty much right in a row. You're going to start things off, that second hardpoint turbine. You're going to see in the open 60 seconds here, a lot of players are going to try and prioritize material processing and prioritize the observation deck. That'll set them in a good spot to pick up the early time on turbine, which they can then convert to a 30-plus second hold, right? We know the likes of Earthroot, as soon as they're able to set up, this is a team that really it's hard to break a setup. So then transferring that momentum over to the opposite side of the map is the difficult part. You want to make sure you get all the way into the sort of back areas of the map that a lot of players don't normally traverse here. But when it comes to locking down Hangar operation, that is the spot that you need to focus on. Once you have that control, you are free to push a little bit further outside the hill. We are commonly seeing players push all the way out towards that bridge, sort of get players as they're coming up off the respawn. That one can be really fast, really frantic, but it's another hill where we can see 30-plus second holds easily.
Oh, for sure. I think you said it's very important to highlight those 2 and 3 hardpoints when it comes down to, like you said, over like I said, on those particular hills. So I think also when it comes down to this map as well, I've been seeing, pretty highly competitive teams, obviously in the pro scene, kind of favoring other hills as well. It seems like they've been kind of favoring drill as of recently, and it's not really, a hill that we're going to see be used too often. But of course, there is really 2 main entry points. It's just one side of the spawn or the other. So if you're kind of in that middle side of the map, just off to the right, in some cases, I mean, you can kind of play that thing in your own way. You can obviously be watching toward different angles. And like I said, we talk about turbine, we talk about Hangar, but there are some hills where you can obviously gain a lot of time if you play it correctly. So as we hop into this game, we've got Earthroot Gaming going up against eRa Eternity. It is map number 1, Hardpoint on Scorch. I definitely want to take a look at the weapon sets for either team. Like I said, Paradox, we fully expect to maybe even see one MV4 from Holler if he wants to kind of do that. So yeah, he's going to be rocking the MV4, but mostly K-bars and eRads for the most part. eRa Eternity actually fitting to go with no eRads. Earthroot Gaming on the opposite end, going with at least one there in their own. And it looks like Shotzi going to be going with the HVR. So we've seen this a few times so far, Paradox. Teams seem to be favoring this one as of recently.
So, yeah, and I'm really interested to see how Shots is going to play with this HVR, not only because of the weapon itself, which I am actually quite fond of, but the fact that he's switching over to this SMG sort of setup. Of course, this is a player that showed off versatility in game number 1 and in day number 1 as well, but right now, really sort of looking at him as a primary AR on this team, and look at that, eRa Eternity with a clean break to start off, taking 3 down in a row.
Yeah, they're playing serious today. I immediately switched to BZ as the game started, just to see if he had any little tricks up his sleeve for us for day number 2. But it's all business now. They want to make sure they're closing out these games and make sure they don't have any close matches like they did a few times yesterday. Of course, we do talk about that Crusher Search and Destroy. They ended up losing, however. They do not want to lose another map. And Mayhem right now trying to do some work inside of the hard point. He will drop Holler from afar with that MV4. Not able to do a whole lot of damage either, but 20 seconds left in bridge. And that rotation toward Turbine is going to play huge. And it seems that Earthroot Gaming is currently in possession of those spawns.
Earthroot had a huge kill by taking out Exotic, who was trying to push all the way down sort of that right-hand side of the map. And look, they're able to do it again. They're delaying this rotation from eRa Eternity. So although your scoreboard is saying there's a 20-point gap and eRa has this lead, look at how much of this early time can possibly go over to Earthroot, especially now that BZ has fallen off the map. Holler's going to be the closest one here to contest, and he's shut down coming off the wall run. Now, these pushes, these spawns, everything for eRa Eternity are staggered. They're going to have to wait 2 to 3 seconds, make sure everyone's on the same page, and here we go. The break's starting to come in. Exotic leads the way with one. Mayhem's going to pop in from lower, and there you go. This is the team that we knew could come in, could bust some teams up, and they're looking at it right now, halfway into Turbine, and the swing has gone in full force pretty much.
Indeed it has, and Earthroot Gaming made a great rotation, but obviously, like we said, the side of eRa Eternity, making their way slowly but surely, breaking that setup play by play. It looks like actually one player trying to challenge this one. That's going to be Priz. He'll quickly get foiled, so the last few seconds going to be awarded over toward the side of eRa Eternity. So one Money Hill down, next one getting ready to pop up. Of course, Earthroot Gaming has made that rotation forward, but player number one, Exotic, we talked about how aggressive he can be when it comes down to this K-Bar. Player for Cloud9 as well in his competitive career. But on his off time, he likes to do some work in Canada. That's exactly what he's doing right now on a 2 spree at the moment, along with BZ and Holler, combined at 6 for them. As it is going to be a rotation 1 yet again. Player number 8, Shotzi, remaining just outside with the HVR, waiting for the call-up from his teammates to say that the pinch is ready to go. But no, he gets taken out from behind. BZ is going to be there. So BZ being a nuisance around that mid-map, but the push isn't going to end just yet. Priz gets from behind. He's going to shut down one with the eRad. And eRa Eternity, while they are doing a great job of locking this one down, Earthroot is still making a push into their setup. Priz is in a big position here. He ends up dropping Remark as well toward the top, trying to hold down this angle. And this is a great job right now from Earthroot Gaming. While they haven't locked out a whole lot of time, Paradox, they're at least contesting when it comes down to this Money Hill. So anytime that they don't get, they just want to make sure the other team isn't getting those. So they have no issue with contesting. So it looks like the last few seconds going to go down here in Hangar as we rotate right now towards Drill.
Also, coming off of those respawns, they've been able to win some of these key engagements to lock down Drill early on. Crystal gets flooded with players, so he goes out inside of material processing. Just like that, you see, if you're able to take out a couple of those kills, open up the map a little bit, you had one player left for Earthroot inside of the upcoming hardpoint. He's taken out without a problem. Great nade from Holler, just throws that one all the way across the map, taking out one, and here we go. eRa Eternity set up. They are on a roll. Look at their position on the map right now. Aggressive, they're pushing out, they know exactly where to look, where these players are coming from, and with the amount of mechanical skill on this team, it can be very difficult to take them out.
Oh, it absolutely can. Like, so we talk about a number of different slayers for this side of eRa Eternity. Of course, you're talking about players like Exotic, of course, probably one of the most known players at this tournament, player for Cloud9 as well, dominant in his own regard. He's kind of blown up in the competitive scene over the last year or so, ever really since he going over toward TK along with Holler, funny enough. And Holler, very, very well known, top semi-pro as well as pro, even for a time. He's kind of switched on from roster to roster so far throughout the competitive career in Infinite Warfare. Actually, firing a few shots actually toward Shot himself. So maybe just a little bit of smack talk going back and forth in the game. But of course, you do talk about Mayhem as well. It's kind of been a rising star so far throughout this game, and BZ as well, most known for his career actually on Lethal toward the end of Black Ops 3 at Champs, and has found his way on a few rosters as well. Very talented in his own regard, and has been some pretty interesting placements, some pretty top placements as well so far in IW for a few amateur rosters. So this is obviously a very talented team. The set of Earthroot Gaming, of course, has been a roster for a while. These guys have kind of been a group, a team who's competed. See, obviously, how that chemistry can kind of come into force as the side of eRa Eternity. Just, it looks too strong right now, Paradox. I mean, we were looking at Earthroot yesterday as a commanding force coming into this match, and eRa Eternity making this look like a public match.
Oh, man, that was just dirty. The way it was Exotic, was able to play his life inside of the hill, sort of prodded those engagements over and over again, made way for his teammates. Teammates come in, take them out, and now looks like Earthroot come off of the spawn. They won a huge kill inside of that long haul. They worked their way over towards Turbine. They have 3 set up for the pinch. This is going to be easy pickings for them. One already goes down. Shots follows it up with a second. Remarks in the kill feed as well. The break comes through, but can Earthroot maintain control for the rest of Turbine?
That's a good point to bring up. Can they maintain it? They've obviously been playing smart throughout the entire game, but it's just been eRa Eternity who's completely broken their setups, rather. We'll obviously see how this one does start to come into play. Mayhem, as well as Holler, making their way toward this right side of the hard point at the moment. Mayhem trying to spot a few players out. 25 very valuable seconds if you are eRa Eternity that you want to have in your possession. But Earthroot looks to be holding on to this one for right now. Player number 3, the last one up and near that. That's going to be BZ. He's going to contest for this time, potentially. Not the smartest play in the end, but if he can try and delay these players, it wouldn't be a bad idea. But no, they want to force this one. They're going to send all 3 players for this. BZ will drop, but in the end, they are going to be awarded those last few points. Holler grabbing those seconds and adding toward the most objective time in the game. His rotation now coming in toward Hangar. We'll see if the boys in Earthroot can hold on.
They put a lot of faith in Mayhem on that play. He was the one pushed all the way towards security to try and lock down those spawns. BZ ended up spawning on him. And then, of course, they had one threatening waiting in the wings for a hard point to switch over. And it looks like the fruits of the labor were going to pay off. But no, Shots ends up shutting down BZ. Mayhem all the way in the back finally goes through. Picks that one up. Exotic going to be the lone man inside of the hill, just making sure that long haul is clear. Pistol ends up getting shot in the back, and with that, this is a sustained hold on Hangar operation for eRa Eternity. They're going to be right within striking distance here, as they can really just get close to closing this game out.
Yeah, they will. Looks like they can get very close to closing this one out on this hill. Not going to be in a point where they can get that 250 mark, but obviously going to be just on the edges of it. Holler locking the time down, 22 and 12 for him, 20 and 11 for Exotic. Major slayers when it comes down to this match, and both of them have a lot of hard point time there as well. Shots beginning to come in as actually looks like Mayhem's streak ends at 7. Only 8 more seconds needed for the side of eRa Eternity to close out this map number 1. They want to do it in dominant fashion. Mayhem just outside of the hill. BZ currently residing inside of that one. As shots being actually received from Observer. And it's not going to work out for the side of Earthroot. They can't force their way through. That's going to be eRa Eternity walking away with a dominant victory in this hardpoint. 100-point clubbing the side of Earthroot and making an impact in this map number 1.
21 and 12 performance from Exotic with a minute 40 inside the hill and 4 defense. Talk about being all around there, stepping it up in game 1. The player, of course, as you mentioned, playing for Cloud9. But on the opposite side, Crystal, bit of a rough game there. It finishes 9 and 19, not the start that I expected to see. So going forward, I mean, you get to slow it down in a search or destroy. Maybe we get to see Crystal come up with a couple more plays there.
Yeah, and honestly, if you are the side of Earthroot Gaming, you're not really a team so far throughout this tournament has kind of been able to, or you're not really been in a position where you're the non-factor, you're like the biggest slaying team.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to kind of rely on these search and destroys quite a bit throughout the rest of this series, along with that one respawn, which could probably and most likely have to be that uplink. The uplink is actually going to be on throwback. Of course, we do talk about Search and Destroy Crusher up next. I feel like we've seen a lot of Search and Destroy Crushers this weekend. Definitely one of my favorite maps to watch, but like I said, I think this is that this shouldn't be a must-win for the side of Earthroot Gaming. But if you are in their position right now, you're obviously not the most dominant slaying team. You've been the most dominant slaying team in all your matches that you've faced off against so far. Of course, not dropping a series as of yet. But honestly, they're going to have to kind of play that lower style in some cases, Paradox. They have to kind of work on their search and destroys, try to hope they can get to that game 5. And the way they do that is by winning these next 2 maps.
So looking at this Crusher Search and Destroy, we saw a lot of sniper play come out yesterday. You think that's going to be sort of a returning trend as we start to get into the later rounds, sort of the really tough competition here, try and get those early picks?
I think we might see it quite a bit. I'm just curious to see from the side of ERG, because we ended up seeing Earthroot actually rush toward A quite a bit with those ERADs, and we've also seen the exact same thing come in from eRa Eternity. We know exactly what they can do. The thing is that I feel like when it comes down to this next map, we're going to see a lot of focus toward that A site from ERG. I think it's going to be more balanced for the side of eRa, but I think those sniper rifles can definitely come out. I think we'll see them more from the side of eRa than we would from the side of ERG, just due to their different roles and how they feel comfortable. I think eRa is a little bit more well-rounded, I guess we can kind of say, with the overall weapon selection and whatnot. But I don't know, man. I think it's definitely possible. We know what BZ can do. We've obviously pulled out the longbow for a hard point for a while, pulled out the DMR just for kicks, so it wouldn't surprise me if we see him do the same thing here.
Really interested to see how this goes. And I feel like right now for, I got to say it, for Earthroot, I feel like this is a must-take. I feel like if you don't win the Search and Destroy, you're sitting in position.
Yes, indeed they do. So with that, we'll obviously see how the players will transition. So we'll actually get ready to load in here toward Crusher, Search, and Destroy for map number 2. Like we said, Paradox, it's not that it's a must-win, but it's kind of in some cases a must-win for the side of Earthroot Gaming. This is a match where you have to kind of be all focused up, be ready to go, because if not, they're definitely going to come in and bite themselves. So with that, I'm going to give a quick shout to our sponsors for day number 2 as the rig draft will start to commence. Major shout-outs, of course, to the sponsors for making this weekend happen. Shout out to Origin PC, Zowie, a brand by BenQ, Acquire Clothing, Eastlink, CTV, Kiss 100.3, 92.7 Rock, Stack Brewing, as well as Up. Thank you guys so much for your support and making UMG Sudbury a fantastic event up to this point. And speaking of fantastic things, the series is going to present us with a map number 2. Paradox, we both discussed. ERG, you got to win this one. eRa, they're looking pretty strong. I don't know about your opinion on this one, but I'm definitely looking toward eRa to most likely take it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They're going to need that sort of to help them out here. And I also think you can get a really good play using that overdrive on the snap, sort of throw off the timing. So really looking at Heiza to step up with that payload.
Indeed. Of course, we'll load in here toward Crusher, Search, and Destroy. We've kind of broken things down. Like we said, Earthroot, it's already, your backs are against the wall, but I'm kind of questioning them in some cases. Actually, the first player who loads into the game is Mayhem, and he's already got the sniper rifle out. I'm going to go and switch on board with a few other players to see what they've got rocking. Looks like Holler as well. Also with the sniper rifle. Are they teasing us? Yes, they're teasing us. They've all 4 got sniper rifles out for the side of eRa. Wow. They're messing with us. I know what they're doing. I know what they're trying to do right now, and it's not going to work. Actually, the other team, Shotzi as well, also pulling out the longbow. So we've got 5 out of the 8 players with sniper rifles of some sort in this game. And we'll see with 3. Are they going to keep these out? They are going to keep
No way
out.
They go to 4 sniper
They actually keep this out.
My.
4 sniper rifles. We talked about how would they feel confident. They're feeling pretty confident right now. They're feeling pretty good. And we'll see if that comes to bite them. And another Crusher, Search, and Destroy actually gets met. Exotic finding shots. They're probably pretty curious as to how these shots are going down right now. BZ, Exotic finding 2, but 1 player actually making it through the setup. I believe that was Pistol. Or no, it was actually Remark, it looks like. He actually made it through their setup and entered inside of A. He's going to call that one out to his teammate, but his teammate receives the call out just a little bit too late, calling out most likely that the players are in your region, and just as he learns that information, he ends up getting dropped shortly after that. So the 4 sniper strategy working out pretty good right now, Paradox.
Oh, Remark's able to pick up 1. 3 left on the map. This is a deadly situation. Takes out 2. It's a really good play from him right now. He's now sort of shoehorned into one area, has 2 choke points that he can really go through. As long as you don't force yourself down an alley, which he kind of ends up doing at the end, but the shot comes from the left-hand side. It would be sitting pretty, but there's your first round coming out of Area Eternity. A confident round, to say the least. So we see the Hellstorm finish that one off.
Yeah, so that would have been like the most impressive yet unimpressive one before had that actually gone down just through the players rocking sniper rifles throughout most of it. Of course, Holler has to pull out the Hellstorm to make things more solidified. But, of course, we'll see, and they are going to continue on here with the sniper strategy, except for Holler swapping over toward that MV4. Felt pretty confident in that last shot, and that's a really good point. That's the reason why. So, with that, you're going to obviously see Earthroot maintain this strategy that they've held throughout this tournament, making their rushes toward A. They feel confident with the eRads, and thankfully for them, that actually kind of totally counters the stride of eRa, because the sniper rifles do not exactly work very well when it comes down to being inside of A due to those close quarter engagements, but Exotic able to make 1 work. The shot still coming in from the side. BZ and Holler looking to try and engage with these sniper rifles. Holler does have the NV4. Definitely should be the front line of sight. Exotic picks up a K-bar, makes it work, and just like that, it's all up to Heiza. No 1 on 3. Receives 1 shot. Give me the other one, says Heiza. Not able to find that one either. Player already on the defuse was Exotic, as Air Eternity making this one look even more easy.
The scariest thing for me in that round is the fact that Shots had 2 opportunities to spot the player defusing the bomb, and somehow he missed both of them. Obviously, the first one, you have a player on that wall run, so he tries to go and prioritize that one, and then the second gunfight ends up coming in from the left-hand side. But, man, you might have been able to stop that defuse and get out and sort of work your way with the rest of the time you have left in that round. But going into round number 3, looks like the snipers will still be out. Mayhem tries to get an early one over by the A site. Meanwhile, teammates all moving over towards B.
Yeah, this is a great play actually coming in from the side of eRa, using Mayhem to kind of bait out those shots and making them think that the rush is actually coming toward that side. Mayhem actually ends up finding one. Exotic as well with the HVR. Immediate 2 versus 4, but there's a shot there coming in from Shotzi himself. Is going to need an ace in this round if he expects to have Earthroot on the board in these first 3, and actually he ends up getting pushed and punched from behind. Rather unfortunate there in the end if you are the side of Earthroot, but Exotic, he's feeling good. He immediately spots this player and is gonna make him pay for that. A 1 punch to the back. Wow. All right. That works. I'll take it.
He gets under the rear shield. So then it ends up counting. That's a really scary. That's like the perfect angle if you're going to go for a player with that trait to just get that one hit melee. But round 4 now in our midst, and looks like Earthroot going to switch things up, move over to B, and this might be a little bit scary. You already have Mayhem looking down range with the sniper rifle. Spots 3. Not able to pick anything up. Shot's going to fire a couple of shots back, and Earthroot able to pick up the first 2 kills this round.
Oh, it looks like a few shots being exchanged. Exotic now left in a 1-on-3. BZ the only person finding a kill in this round as of yet. Exotic trying to change that. HVR from behind, spots 1 player on. Okay. Oh my god, I thought he was about to get noticed, but rocks the FTL jump. Exotic finds another one from behind. Give me another 1 versus 3. He doesn't have any ammo. My goodness, he was trying to go for the sneak defuse. Player heard him from behind. Nearly gets turned on is actually Exotic. That would have been really bad. But able to finally get around on the board is the side of Earthroot. That was nearly catastrophic.
I feel like if he had some more ammo, he probably would have taken out shots and maybe left in a 1v1. Instead, really unfortunate timing on that one. But Earthroot now on the board this round out. Speaking of shots, I want to see. He's keeping that sniper out. Looks like he's going to use it. Try and pick off the player mid. Ends up missing that shot. Only player for Earthroot moving in towards that B side is going to be Crystal, who timing works out in his favor. Oh, no. Beezy catches him going through the sight. Oh, trying to hit the flank. Oh, that's really unfortunate timing. He waits like a couple half second or so. He ends up getting behind that entire setup.
Does shots ends up getting found out as well. 2-on-2. High as a Remark. Be a big round if they can find it. Remark, unfortunate, not able to have the nice trigger discipline in that particular engagement. Player just toward his left. Does he spot him is the question. Player number 3, BZ, trying to seek him out. Nice shot there. 1 shot, 1 kill. As Exotic will finish off the last as they are just completely dominating with these sniper rifles. BZ at least in the end. And of course, Exotic continuing to have the HVR out. Making quick work of Hyza as the callouts and the overall experience from the competitive players is working out for him.
Exotic continuing a staple performance right now. 8-2 so far as we enter round 6. So really, game 1, not a fluke, of course, as we would expect from a player like this and with that talent. And BZ sitting at 6-3 as well. Some nice shots in that last round. Ends up missing the intro for this one, but Exotic's going to get aggressive once again with that HVR straight down the mid lane. Was able to take out another, so already a 4v2 numbers advantage in favor of eRa Eternity.
Yep, Remark able to spot out 1, tries to find the second as well, but no BZ. These sniper rifle shots, they are on point with these, my man, as Crystal. 1 versus 3, an MV4, and an eRa is better, as it's not going to go his way. eRa Eternity now going to be up 5 rounds to 1. Actually, I literally thought that how fast that shot was, it had to be an eRa. It's just an EMC. Exotic, nice trigger finger, friend. It's now going to be 5 rounds to 1, only 1 round away from making this 1-2-0. And I'm fully expecting them, if they don't mess about, I think they close this one up in the next 3 rounds at least.
Well, speaking of messing about, let's see. Looks like, oh, no, still 3 snipers, and they're going to move this one over towards A. Remarks is right here, ends up picking up the first blood, takes out the only player that was not rocking a sniper rifle, and it looks like Crystal's going to be able to pick up BZ, so already 4v2 numbers advantage in favor of Earthroot. Mayhem is being chased by 2 players. Is still alive. Picks up 1. Oh my, 1 more was under him. Exotic going to be left in a 1v3.
And Exotic receiving some shots up close. Tries to go for the no-scope. Not going to be home, unfortunately, for him. So Earthroot able to stay alive. Most likely not due to possessions in their power, kind of on the opposite side. But for those who are watching at home, this is not by any means a normal strategy, all right? You do not want to have a sniper rifle. At least I've seen a few strategies where we've seen 1 sniper rifle watching the cross inside of A, but that is not at all what you want to do. If you're wanting to watch and take tips in Call of Duty I would not recommend watching the side of eRa Eternity, even though they are winning the rounds, but just for future notice. So Exotic, despite the antics, is still sitting pretty at 10-3. BZ as well. Actually been wrecking the sniper rifle throughout the entire game, sitting at 7-4. A very impressive scoreline for him. This player number 5 looks to potentially get met quick as he'll spot at least 2 players skying through the air and is quick to back up. Of course, realize the rotation toward A was a good one. Player number 1, Exotic, actually getting behind enemy lines. HVR in hand, not going to go his way. So first blood, EMC there from shots is going to go through. Immediate 2-on-4. Now make it a 1-on-4. Holler now left in a spot to clutch. Only 35 seconds left to get that bomb defusal in. Bomb defuse, excuse me. Player just behind him as well. Don't tell me he tries to go for the ninja. Don't tell me. Okay, he's going to try to go for the ninja.
No way.
Surely they notice.
No
Surely
way.
they notice.
They have to.
Okay.
They're missing shots.
Oh, God. Okay.
Oh, that was scary for a second there, but the defuse doesn't
I feel like I was having a
in.
conversation with Holler for a second. I was like, you're not going to get on the defuse. He's like, yeah, I am. Like, no, you're not. Yes, I am. It's like, and then he ends up getting on the defuse. And had he stayed on it, he probably could have been about a solid 1.5 seconds had he not hopped off the bomb due to Heiza missing shots. But regardless, man, eRa 5-3. Not that they're getting scared by any means, because they're probably going to still rock out sniper rifles. But it looks like Mayhem continuing out with 1. BZ as well, and Holler with that K-bar. So continuing with the same strategy as last round. Shots being exchanged through that middle map. Mayhem not able to find that one as of yet. He's been very lethal with that sniper rifle. Holler finding one with the K-bar for the first blood. Nice to have, especially when you're on offense, to have the man count advantage. But shots going with the sniper rifle, shots of his own. Just like that, we're now in a 2-on-2 right now, Paradox. BZ looking over toward that right side, having Exotic support as well, but Priz is going to go for the shots, but Shotzi's going to be on the flank. And now all he has is a pistol. Why are you going on the flank, my friend, when you have a pistol in your hands? This is the shot. I believe that one of the payloads actually ends up getting rocked as well. EMC up close. They'll shut down Exotic. One more in his line sights. Can he find it is the question. Up close. Here comes the beatdown, and he's going to get met quick. As that's going to be eRa Eternity. In interesting fashion, winning this search and destroy very, very easily. 6 rounds to 3. You're going to see BZ up close. 2 shots with the Hailstorm. Also has rifle barrel along with the Hailstorm as well. So trying to use little strategies, I see.
That might be the weirdest search and destroy we've ever casted together.
I think it's fair to say,
I would have to say, that's not a strategy you want to go and take into IW's competitive playlist whenever you pick up the game. I mean, hey, if you want to go and have some fun, yeah, go ahead and do it. But 6-3 over to eRa Eternity. Once again, they have a commanding lead in this series now at 2-1. So, I just feel like they close it out here in this uplink. There's nothing right now coming out of Earthroot that is telling me that, yeah, on a fast-paced map like Throwback, they'll be able to sort of ride this one out to extend this series. It's sort of a tough call to make, but honestly, it's just something that I don't expect. I mean, last time we saw them on Throwback, we had a 36-26 performance from shots, which is probably a standout for me, but other than that, like, I don't know. I feel like this team is more fit to hardpoint and search and destroy than uplink.
Oh, for sure. And I think when it comes to uplink as well, I mean, we have talked about in times, more competitive players, kind of top semi-pros as well as pros themselves, they have the hardcore practice when it comes in uplink. If you're kind of playing online matches, you kind of focus on hardpoint, you kind of focus on search and destroy. Uplink, one of those game modes that you don't really focus on. Not saying that Earthroot Gaming is in that particular spot, but you just don't expect them to practice it as much, just being in their position. Well, guys, we're going to see what will happen as we get ready to load in here toward uplink on Throwback. ERG down 0-2. Can they make the comeback? Can they at least advance to a map number 4? Or will we see eRa Eternity close this one out in a 3-0 fashion and advance themselves in the grand finals? We'll find out when we come back. Welcome back, everyone, to UMG Sudbury, of course, in the middle of a series going on between Earthroot Gaming and eRa Eternity. Much to our kind of expectancy in the back of our minds, but kind of what we were hoping for would be a close series, but it has been the exact opposite to this point, Paradox. Dominant victories in both the hardpoint and the search and destroy. 100-point clubbed was the side of eRa Eternity, or excuse me, eRa Eternity, 100-point clubbing the side of ERG, and also winning that last search and destroy. And 6-3 sounds closer than it really was. When it comes down to this uplink, we're expecting probably similar results. We'll see what obviously they can produce. I'm going with eRa Eternity 10-2. What about you?
I'm saying 14-3.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm thinking right now. But one thing that's really interesting, can we just look at BZ off the break here? This is something I have never seen. He's rocking the combat knife. This is a whole new level. He's changing the meta right now. Smokes and combat knife. Kids,
it's going to work.
Take notes.
It's going to work. It's going to work, too.
The strat works. They're across the blue line. They're all the way home, and that's a dunk on the board. 2-0. Earthroot Eternity already have the lead.
All right, I'm going to say 22-5. How does that sound?
I mean, that might be the highest scoring throwback uplink we've seen in IW.
Potentially, and BZ's actually fighting Exotic for a moment there for that drone. He's going to toss the one back over to BZ. They want to see how many points he can get. Tosses it over to Mayhem. A quick amount of points already scored. I believe Mayhem had the FHR out for the time, as they've got 4 points on the board. But Priz on the overextension. They need to make sure that they actually don't kill any eRa players. They aren't going to be spawning up in the base. A Bristol is going to wait for his teammate support. They want the 2-point play. Can they get it is the question. BZ's here with the knife. He's right around the corner, but it's not going to go in as the 2-point play is going to get responded there from ERG.
That's where the knife hurts you. If you can't shoot, then there's nothing you can do about the player with the satellite drone to stop those points from coming in. But looks like BZ's going to have the satellite drone. Has a lead blocker in Mayhem. Got to pass that one up, and that's another dunk. 6-2. Now, as the lead extends even more, and one really good thing from Earthroot Eternity so far is that every time there's been a point that comes through, they already have one, maybe two, fighting for control of that train platform once again. But solid defense there from Earthroot to shut down that offensive push.
And if you're Earthroot in this situation, it's like, guys, they're messing with us. Let's try and just absolutely demolish them. It's like, let's pull out K-bars, let's pull out E-Reds, let's just not get involved with what they're doing right now. And actually, a toss goes up. Wouldn't have gone in either way, but Holler there for the rebound. ERG, an unfortunate miss there, but that's what we talk about, man. If you're not constantly playing uplink, not saying that they have it, but it's not always a game mode that's constantly focused on the players who aren't in the highest level of competitive. It is difficult to kind of work on those strategies and play at the highest level possible. This game mode, obviously, one of the most important ones. You only play it once, but it can definitely turn the tide of a series, and it looks like we're not going to be seeing that tide being changed anytime soon. BZ tossing that one over to Exotic, and this is going to be another 2-point play, 8-2. My score that I predicted is nearly already settled, and we've already had like 2 minutes into the game. So.
And that was a beautiful pass. It was just like, it was one shot there. It's like, all right, here, take the drone. I know I'm going to go down, and they ended up making it work, but the smoke's not working there as Holler gets completely gunned down as soon as he grabs the satellite drone. Meanwhile, Mayhem with his fist out gets into a little bit of a scuffle here, trying to go for the kill, and no, Heiza comes through, gets the beat down. On the other side of the map, though, BZ made it through with the satellite drone, but Remarks comes through. Huge two-piece, grabs that one off the boards, and throws it out of the map for the reset.
He does. Mayhem coming down with those streaks that he earned. I'm not sure if he actually ran into ammo there in the FHR or what, but either way, able to make it work. Looks like BZ somehow escapes for the time. I'm not gonna lie, these smokes are definitely kind of being like a nuisance. Like as funny as awkward as it is as well, it's definitely kind of limiting the sight lines that Earthroot is having. Definitely not a strategy that we're used to seeing. Don't think they have any thermal K-bars ready to go in their creative class, but we'll see if they can try to put 2 more points on the board. Tries to toss that one forward, but Mayhem is there for the stoppage. Holler's there for the return, and look at that, BZ as well on the overextension, ready before those smokes. Tosses him as well into underpass, hops into top ticket. Has Exotic waiting for him for the time. Tries to go for the 1-point toss, but just can't get it off. Great defense coming in there from the side of Earthroot. His Heiza actually on his 7th spree right now, so if he gets this kill right here, 50 points away from that bombardment, that could actually be huge. And yes, he's going to earn that bombardment. Now only 200 points away. I believe that's from, well, I'd say Warden, but not going to earn that one. So minute 10 remaining. Earthroot not in a spot as BZ tosses down that smoke. Not in a spot to most likely take the lead after this first half.
That's a situation where you really sort of need to slow down your pace of play. You're 200 off of a Warden against a team where a player is using a combat knife. He will be null and void unless he has a blind eye class if he still wants to run that as well. So that was a prime position.
He does have blind eye. He does have blind eye.
Of course he has blind eye. Why would he not have blind eye at this point? I'm just not surprised by anything with BZ right now. Exotic, though, another dunk extends this lead over towards 8 points. As Exotic also gets taken out. So one really good thing for Earthroot, besides the scoreboard right now, which is a pretty bad spot for them, is the fact that they're maintaining control of their base. After those points come through, they're shutting these players down. They're not letting sort of these relays come in over and over again. But as you said, this is a pretty nasty looking first half for Earthroot. They're going to need to turn things around quick.
Yeah, they do. BZ trying to go for the
toss,
but here comes the nice melee there. It goes for the 360. He wants some style points. Tries to pass it. Actually passed off to Exotic at the last second. Can they get it off is the question? No, it's not going to go through. So my score, my prediction, I believe my first one, actually still intact. 10-2, I think is what I said, right? Did I say 10-2?
I believe.
Did I say 10 to 4? I think I said 10 to 2. I'm just gonna go with 10 to 2. So I'm hoping that eRa at the very least is listening, so that they can just keep the score the same way that it is. Don't score any more points, and just sit in their base with the drone and pass amongst themselves and play hardcore defense. Kind of park the bus type of strategy. But of course, we'll see what the set of Earthroot can try and produce. Like we said, of course, eRa Eternity having some fun up until this point, but Earthroot Gaming, of course, realizing that they are down 0-2, potentially the last 5 minutes of themselves being in the winner's bracket. Heiza quick to call out those streaks. Bombardment will come through right about now. We'll see if that can obviously lead to any kills for him. And it's not going to find anything. Granted, it'll obviously zone out a few of the players, but you see Priz tossing that one up, trying to go through field side. They absolutely have to be aware of such. As they are going to be making their way through.
Oh, no.
3 players down. Man, make it 4 players down for the time. Pass needs to come through. Priz is being the lead blocker, and that's going to work out for him. Shots as well. Here has the drone, and just like that, the 2-point play comes forward. And my prediction is ruined. Regardless, though, Earthroot getting closer to being back in this one.
Shots now 225 off of the Trinity Rocket. So here we go. Looks like they're going to try and set up and go for a relay. Remarks to already thrown this one to the opposite side of the map. Picks up one, a second one in his miss, but will not be able to close that one out. Shots, though, does come through. Cleans it up. Needs to get the beat down here or just do something. He might try and force the play. And those smokes actually work for him. He's going to go for the dunk, but no! BZ comes behind him with the combat knife, shuts him down off of the streak. And just when he thought he had some points on the board, and just taken away from him right at the final second.
The silent killer, BZ, throws down the smoke just when we start to think that he might have an opportunity. He gets too over-anxious, and the knife in the back comes through. Holler, nice little 360 off the wall. Red is also going to find a kill there. Smokes are down, trying to watch Holler's back right now. Toss coming in over toward BZ, the main objective man for this game. Why? Because he can't really do much else. It looks like Active Camo gets rocked for Mayhem. This should be a score. They actually kind of see him. This is how good Active Camo is. This is how good Active Camo is. Mayhem able to fire in that 2-point play. BZ, while he is 2-15, he does have 2 teammates who are doing pretty well. 25-15 right up for Exotic. 26-14 for Mayhem. It's a battle of the kills. It's a battle of the points. And right now, Eternity is obviously leading in both of those.
Well, that's almost like a combined 50 and 30 from 2 of your players right now. That is really good stat-wise. Meanwhile, looks like Holler's trying to push up. They have the limit control, and you're going to see the 3-man push come through. But the Trinity Rocket come out from Heiza, only able to pick up 1.
Oh, Exotic.
Already in the base. The pass to himself goes through.
The llama
Mayhem picks up 2 in the base as well. BZ, if he was coming off the respawn a little bit sooner, they would have been set up for a prime relay.
Pulls out the llama god, as that one's going to go through. Beautiful play there as BZ trying to get involved with that knife. Unfortunately, his streak is going to be taken down yet again. 2-18 for BZ. Of course, doesn't really matter at this point. 14-4. What was your prediction, Paradox, coming into this game?
I think 14-4.
Was it really?
And it looks like that's in a row now.
Sorry about that. Caster Curse coming into play there. My fault. But 2 minutes remaining, obviously, in this second half. Earthroot, all they can do is dwell on what could have been, potentially. Of course, they're not out of this tournament by any means, but they still have an opportunity to make it through the loser's bracket. This is going to be eRa Eternity advancing here toward the grand finals. Remark trying to get some sort of solace as the FTL jump gets rocked. The knife in the back is BZ. Actually, going to find 2 kills there, so the salute as well, doubling his kills in a matter of moments. Regardless, the score attempt will come through, so 14-7, still eRa Eternity leads.
Mayhem still trying to play this close quarters on the train platform. Isn't going to take it out.
How do they not know where he is?
No, he's coming up behind him. BZ going for another knife.
Where's he
Where'd
at?
the player go? Up, around, everywhere. BZ knifing the air and won't be able to come up with the kill. Heiza follows it up with some nice hit fire. And right now you have a minute left on the board. It's 14-7. Earthroot technically not out of it yet, but they're going to need to play fantastic Call of Duty the rest of the way through to make sure they even have a hope of bringing this one back. And with 60 seconds left, I mean, you do have a player set up at trading platform. You have Active Camo and Overdrive, but it's just a very tall task right now, especially with them losing map control.
It is Holler at this point. He's actually going to grab the drone. Could really just toss this one forward for a few yards to guarantee the W, but seems that he's going to be making this backside at Grandma push. Goes for the 1-point toss. That one's barely going to go through, so a little bit lucky there as that one's going to siphon in. 15-9. BZ still doing his best only USB blade impression. Continuing to rock out with the combat knife. Tossing the smokes to be the silent killer that he is. Grabs the drone. is going to escape somehow yet again. I don't know how he's escaping. I'm being honest. I have no idea how this is working out for him. He's also going to get the 1-point toss through. So 16-9. The buzzer beater gets rocked. Mayhem has just reached 40 kills.
Oh my. I don't even know what to say. Mayhem's 42 and 22. Positive 20 right now, and I'm pretty sure there's no way eRa can put any more points here to end the game. That's going to be 16-9 at the end. A dominant performance from eRa Eternity this entire series.
Indeed it was, my friend. Indeed it was. Of course, you're going to see Mayhem, final kill cam, FHR. Going to rock that one, as that's going to be a W. In case of eRa Eternity, of course, like we mentioned, like we assumed they would, advancing themselves into the grand finals after winning that series. So, of course, that is going to be, instead of Earthroot Gaming being knocked down to the losers bracket, of course, we have a number of different fantastic matches to come up, but that series was just, it was interesting, I think it's fair to say, Paradox.
Yeah, the only way I would say it is a stylish win. Just making sure they have everything that they wanted, just go for them in that situation. And speaking of which, I know a lot of the kids, we're in the middle of summer, people are out and about, but if you're still trying to focus and grind and make sure you can come up play at the top level of play and then even get some nice streaming and everything on your hand, make sure you go check out one of our fantastic sponsors, Origin PC. They already have some back-to-school specials going on. So, yeah, the money around, make sure you go check that out. They have some very good products there. If you want a desktop, laptop, anything.
Yes, a pretty much just they're mentioning our sponsor, especially, of course, Zowie as well. We have a number of fantastic sponsors making this event happen. It's been a very, very fun time up to this point. Of course, this series, not exactly the same. Not exactly the same. I'm just going to throw my notes just over that way because it really doesn't matter, to be honest with you. Hopping in here toward our bracket, let's actually take a look and see how things are lining up to see what matches we do have left. Of course, if you guys take a look at the screen now, only left are losers bracket matches. The side of eRa Eternity have already solidified themselves in the grand finals. We're going to have Pink Rockstar going up against Issa Team. Winner of that game is going to face off against Earthroot. And, of course, the winner of that match will face off in the grand finals versus the side of eRa Eternity. Should be a very interesting match between Pink Rockstar and Issa Team. Of course, we got a few interesting players to be pointing out. I know kind of coming into that series. I think it should actually be a pretty close one. Probably a lot closer than the last one, I think it's fair to say. You can definitely have Game 4, Game 5 potential, I think, when it comes down to that.
Yeah, Vista Team coming off a 3-2 win against Cryptic Void, and then Pink Rockstar kept their momentum going and had a 3-0 over Persistence after they sort of wiped the floor with Primetime Nation after that 3-1. There was one map that, of course, goes to the other side, but that last map, it was a scorch hardpoint. They pretty much hold they held Primetime Nation half the points that they scored in that first hardpoint.
Indeed. Well, guys, we're going to head to a quick commercial break. Of course, when we return, more losers bracket matches to come as we end out day number 2 here at UMG Sudbury. We'll be back.